Welcome, or Dumela as they say in Botswana. Here's the second part of my holiday to Africa. I don't know if you watched the first one. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping that I get a bit better with making sure there's not a lot of wind around when I do these pieces to camera outside. So hopefully it's all worked out. I don't know if you can hear the background. That's the swimming pool. We'll find out when I start editing this how bad it is, whether I need to redo it again. So where we left off is we had been under at Chobe National Park, Chobe under canvas, and so we ended up going back to Kasane Airport and getting on a very small plane to come down to Xaranna. And Xaranna, this is now in the Okavango Delta. So got on this Mac airplane and it needed to take 2 stops. So basically they pick up people and then go, okay, well we need to go here, here, here and here, so we'll just drop people and pick them up as we go through. And so I was not happy about having to do 2 extra stops. This plane was small and I'd never been on anything that small, and I was a little bit concerned, but the pilot Jam was lovely and she was very appreciative. And again, I've done my fear of flying training, and so that really did help. I was taking deep breaths and I was just trying to relax. To be honest, it was less bumpy than a game drive in a Toyota Land Cruiser, but you know, and I'm trying to tell my brain that. Anyway, what was really good was the distractions of having the beautiful Okavango Delta down below us, so we can see that as we were flying down. So we took a whole pile of photos. Chris does, when we're up in the air, Chris does all of the camera work. So most of these photos are taken from him. I got a little bit brave and took a couple out the side of where I was sitting, but look, it was stunning. We're a bit late, or sorry, we're a bit early. The Okavango Delta hasn't filled completely, and when we got to Xaranna Lodge, it was normally we would arrive by boat, but we couldn't because there was no water. There was just a water hole out the front. And so it was a little bit different. I know Zelda and Chris had been before, and they said, "Oh, look, it was just there was water everywhere." So we were a bit early for the water, but I still thought it was fantastic. We just saw lots of stuff. So here's some footage of us flying in to Xaranna Okavango Delta Lodge. It was a different type of experience than Chobe under canvas. Chobe under canvas, it was no electricity, there was just tents, and sorry, I thought there was a lizard next to me. We saw a skink further down, so I'm a little bit paranoid, but it was nothing, it was just a shadow. Anyway, back to Xaranna Okavango Delta Lodge. This is a beautiful, beautiful place. It's got semi-permanent, well, it's a permanent camp. It did have luxury tents and things like that with en-suites and etc, etc. All the mod cons that you need, and Wi-Fi. So that's how I was able to then do some editing and send some stuff off. But it's a beautiful little spot and really loved it. So great views. They called it the TV room, where you could just sit and watch the show, and it was just such a weird type of place, in the sense that we get an orientation every time we go to a new camp, and the guy said, okay, you know, you've got pools, the elephant will come and drink out of your pool. We had a bit of not a problem. He said right next to us there's this jackalberry tree. The elephants really love jackalberries, so they're also going to come and eat the jackalberries, so don't be too surprised. Again, we're just thinking, oh, I reckon we were in our room for all of maybe 10 minutes and there's an elephant coming up to our pool to drink out of it. Look, we started taking footage. It happens so often. Every day they would walk past and they would just drain the pool almost, just drinking. I think because the Okavango Delta hadn't come through, so the flooding hadn't happened as yet. So these elephants are just going, you know, this is a handy spot. We know there's water here. We're just going to drink it. To be honest, I think it was probably be better water than the Okavango Delta or the Okavango River. But anyway, what a sight! And then I've come back to the TV room, and there's a bloody elephant is hoeing into these jackleberries. Now the jackleberries are only this big, but they've got those, I don't know, prehensile little trunks that they can then just sort of, you know, grab that, and they're just grabbing them and putting them in their mouth one at a time, like peanuts, I suppose. But it was just so good to watch. The waterhole that was there, again, you know, normally it wouldn't be there. There'd just be a massive big body of water with some animals in there, predominantly hippos. But this waterhole had about 50 or 60 hippo in there. And then during the course of our stay, wildebeest would come down. There would be the elephants had come down, you know, when they got sick of our pool water. And then warthog, wildebeest. It was just all happening. So every time you went down there, you saw something different. So it was such a stunning place. I know that we sort of gave Mum and Dad a phone call just to say, you know, we're okay, we're in Africa, we're having fun. And I was showing them the room, and again, there was an elephant there in the pool. So I showed them just so they could see what we're experiencing. So we've put together some shots. So have a look at what we're seeing at Xaranna Okavango Delta Lodge. This is classed as the TV room at Xaranna Okavango Delta Lodge. And I tell you what, the biggest TV screen I've ever seen in my life. Now normally this would be all water, but at the moment the delta hasn't come in yet, or the water hasn't come in yet. But we do have a little pool out here where there's nothing but hippopotamus. You can hear them when they're going off. This tree here is a jackleberry tree, and elephants come in and fang out on them. Absolutely brilliant. Just a whole bunch of elephants coming down to the waterhole. They've already splashed themselves with a bit of mud, and as per normal they're keeping the little one in between them. Mother will be very protective of the calf. How adorable. So we were at Xaranna, and to be honest, we heard completely different ways of saying it. There was Xaranna, Xaranna, Rana. I'm not getting that right, but there's those clicky T's in there. So I think I've just started calling it Xaranna. So we did the same sort of things that we were doing at Chobe. We were doing 2 game drives a day, And again, normally there would maybe be some boat trips in there, a traditional canoe trip, but we couldn't do that because there was no water. But what we saw was fantastic. There was, because we were able to cover more ground, what were floodplains suddenly became places where animals were. And so we got some really good, some good game drives in and saw some great animals. What we were also watching though was for the water coming in. So we knew that it was close. We're probably about a month out than seeing the full flood. But every day we'd go out and we'd check where the water was coming in from and seeing how much further it was going and how much it was overflowing. And it was really, really interesting. We'd get a little bit excited, calling it Water Watch. And I think the guys thought we were a bit nuts, but we're saying to them, we come from Australia. We know the value of water. And when you're waiting for water to come, how much the anticipation is there, and when you do start to see the water, you're just so excited. So we liked that. We started and ended our game drives every time with where the water was, and because we're a little bit competitive, trying to gauge where it was compared to the camp. So that's what we did. I might have gotten some shots of the water, I'm not too sure, but we did do some game drives. We saw a lot of lions here. There's less animals here than Chobe National Park, but again, Chobe's a national park. They've built it around the fact that they've got so many animals there. We still saw lots of elephants, well, yeah, because they kept coming to the pool. But we did see a bit less animals than when we did at Chobe, but it was still, you know, some really good animals. We saw some ostrich for the first time, saw some marabou, some ugly birds, lots more water birds. So it's been really good. We had one game drive that was an adventure. I'm hoping to make that a sort of a part 2A. I'll let you know how that goes, because honestly we were on the edge of our seats for the entire game drive and we didn't know what we were going to see. But hey, fingers crossed I managed to get that sorted and put that up for everyone. So we did also manage to come across some lions that had killed a water buffalo about an hour before we got there. So we didn't actually see the kill, which I think I'm happy about. I understand the circle of life and animals have got to eat and there's, you know, this happens, but I think if I'd have seen the kill I might have been a little bit anyway. So we came, you know, the guides all talked to one another and they sort of said, hey, there was a kill. And so off we went, and there was about, I think we counted 13 lions, but this time we saw 2 big males that guard the pride. And so that was our first male lions that we'd seen, and they were magnificent. So I have taken some footage, and it is footage where the water buffalo is getting torn into. So if you'd rather look away, I understand completely, but I'd look away now.
One here, the bright branches.
Yes. Oh, wow. Oh my God.
The video's a bit wobbly. Yes, I got it all.
You got it all?
Now a close up.
had to leave Xaranna because it was just such a lovely spot, and we ended up getting into a bit of a routine because we stayed there for 3 nights. We'd have morning game drive and then just a bit of a rest, something to eat at lunchtime, a bit more relaxing, and then afternoon tea, then game drive, then back for dinner. So it was a nice routine that we got into. So this morning we grabbed a chopper and headed to Sandibe. Also, this is also managed by the And Beyond team, and Sandibe is still on the Okavango Delta, and it's a stunner of a place. We've got some shots coming in because we've got a chopper in, so I wasn't taking photos, I was hanging on. But again, you know, it's a helicopter, it's a smooth flight. It was very nice. We met a guy called Matt who was from Melbourne. When we said we're from Adelaide, he said, "Get out." And I thought that was a bit rude because he was from Melbourne. You know, that's what we expect from Melbourne people. That's why us in Adelaide, we don't like them. Anyway, so some shots from overhead. I haven't looked at them yet, but I know that Chris has got this down pat. So he's done the overhead shots, and now we're sitting in Sandibe, and we haven't been on a game drive yet, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that. I haven't taken some footage. The relaxing area is stunning, and I think I could just live here. But anyway, have a look and see what you think. This is a beautiful Sandibe lodge. We just turned up here. We've got a chopper over here and we're just waiting for Chris and Ali to turn up. So I thought I'd just show you. This is where we're going to be staying for the next couple of days. Now, the actual building itself is shaped like a pangolin. No, yeah, pangolin. Some really rare African something or other. I'll try and find out what kind of animal it is. So I'm just walking up to one of the areas. Zelda's just having a little bit of a write. She's put journaling what's been happening. Look at that gorgeous comfy hammock. There's a very well equipped bar. Zelda's already tucking into the vodka. So this is more of the general area. I'm hoping you can see this. I mean, I'm sure it just looks stunning. I don't know if I'll ever leave. And all the time, you're getting this beautiful view. So, a couple of lovely big fires. It has been getting really cold at night, so we're going to appreciate those. But again, how could you not relax in a place like this? There's another hammock, kitchen area at the back, and then what we found everywhere has a boma where they can do some bushfires, or not bushfires, what are they called? Camp. I have no idea what I'm talking about. They're going to have fire pits, and everyone can sit around. Apparently there was a really good one last night and everyone was singing and there was choir, so I was very upset I missed that. But, just getting it back. This is Sandibe. What a glorious spot to spend the next couple of days. So these are the rooms at Sandibe Lodge, and we've got our beds. I'm not going to show you outside just yet because that's a lovely surprise. And then we've got our lovely basin. Well, we've got a desk area and then some basins. Shower, toilet, a shower, indoor shower. Oh, where is it? There it is. Indoor shower. And then there's the outdoor shower. Then, if I swing around, this is outside, and that's a lovely view. I'll take you around this side. Ali's already checking out the view. Hey Ali. This is Hey, this room's for 2 people, so this is the lovely space where you can just sit and relax and look out over that beautiful vista. But it's not finished yet. There's still more. I feel like I'm in some kind of bloody K-Chalad, for those that remember that. We've got another sitting area and a plunge pool. Now these ones probably won't get any elephants coming in because there's a bit of a river in front of us. I also want to show you, oh, we've got a little skink there as well. So we're already seeing the wildlife, but that is the beautiful Sandibe Resort. Did you? This is our last morning in Botswana, and it's been absolutely fantastic. All 3 camps that we've been to, we've seen such amazing things, and the guides and all the staff have been absolutely brilliant. The food's been fantastic. The weather has been stunning. I'm trying to come up with different adjectives because I'm running out, because it's just so hard to describe how beautiful it's all been. So this is the end of our Botswana trip and our 3 camps. Today we're heading off to Cape Town to the next phase of our holiday, and I'll give you a bit more about that when we get in there. Otherwise, it's goodbye from the Okavango Delta and the Sandibe Resort. And if you've got any questions at all, feel free to put them down below and I'll try and answer them for you. See you guys. Bye.